everyone, Artie Tambarambaa, also known as Tammy Klinger. I've popped back in to share another art journal page. Of course, there's lots of colour and a bit of fun and whimsy in this one as well. So I'll go through what I use. I've got the luxury paper elements, which is those little vintage people with colour. I've got the latest paper elements books, the little die cut book. I'm also using the new perfect size journal with the smooth pages. Plus I have grabbed a couple of stencils. I think the one I end up using is the Eternal Trio. I've also got the paper, the latest of Marlene's papers. I intend to use some of those. And then I've got a stack of paint colours. Well, first I've got the sticky glue and the new note stamps, which has just been released. Love it. And then acrylic paints, I've gone for a few different colours to my normal palette. So I've got Sky, I've got Ho Ho Ho, I've got Police, I've got Ballet, Mermaid, Lavender and Peony, which is a soft pink. And I add in Breeze, which is a soft minty green as well. So I'm using the perfect size journal with the smooth pages. So I'm just grabbing a page out of there. And then I just get started by I grab a wide brush of one of Marlene's brushes. Now, you can't quite see this on screen. It is cut off, I'm sorry, but I just basically put all my colours down on a palette, and then I used some white gesso as well, because I knew I was going to use quite a bit of white, because I wanted to use white to blend some of the colours through, because I was sort of going to start with more of a pastel background is what I'm thinking, and then perhaps come in with that bolder Police, which is navy. So I am simply dry brushing these on. My brush is dry and I am letting it blend in between. I'm not brushing off in between, and I'm just adding the colours in the back that I have in the background, and every now and then I'm adding a little bit more white just to tie it in. Now you'll see that my the lighting isn't awesome. I'm actually doing this one at night. I've had trouble finding time during the day, as I've explained in other videos. So this one I actually did at night. So it has got some lighting that's not quite natural. I usually like to work under natural light, but so you'll see a few shadows. But hopefully, as I've said, I will sort myself out and be able to go back to creating at the best time for videos. But at the moment, I just strike while the iron's hot. So I've just come in and with those colours, and it was quite pastel, and I thought that that's what I was happy with, but I'm known as, you know, loving bold colour. So it turns out I did feel like I needed to add some other colours in. So on top of those softer ones, I've put some sky blue and some Ballet, just a few mark makings with it. And now I'm trying to get more comfortable with using red. I'm not much of a red person in my art, so I decided to add some red over the top once the other paints were dry, just a little bit in a few spots, and then just using that floral stencil, which is from the Eternal Trio. I've pulled some back off, and I like the sort of little bit of grunginess that it gives, and just a little splash of red. So then I pulled out this sheet of paper, which I've used a little bit before, but I noticed it had the red, and I don't know if you can see in the details, but some of the scallops have got aqua in it. And I thought, oh, I'm using a bit of red and a bit of blues. So that made me grab the vintage girl, that butterfly girl, because she's got the blue and the aqua, and she's also wearing red shoes and red polka dot panties. So I grabbed those out, and then I went through the paper elements book and just grabbed a couple of flowers. So a red, a purple, an aqua, just sort of in the colours that I've got in the background. And then I also added a heart and a couple of leaves as well. Now these leaves have been cut from the same paper that the heart was cut from. So I do add the list of all the products that I've used. So, and if you do need to find, you're from a particular country, just let me know where you are, and I'll do my best to track down an online store or a store that can help you. So I'm in Australia, so there's quite a few, we've got lots of art by Marlene in Australia, so it's great. So there's 3 or 4 stores I can direct you to if you are in Australia. So now this is where the magic starts to happen. I have come in with the deep blue, the police, and it's quite a, I love the boldness. I love the contrast of some of that softer background and then coming in, boom, with that darker colour. So to start off, I knew that I wanted my heart and flowers sort of in the centre of my page. So I kind of wanted to have some of that blue coming out from those clusters. So I put a little bit bottom left and a bit bottom right using the blue, and then I pulled it back with some paint and with some wet baby white through the stencil. So then I thought, oh, I love that deeper blue. So I added it around the edge, and I actually just blended it with a dry finger just to smooth it off. And I really love that sort of shadowy softness that it's created in the background. So now I'm just kind of, auditioning, I guess, my products as to where I would like them. And when Marlene's die cuts, some of them have a little white edging to them, which sometimes I love just like that, but sometimes I actually decide to trim off the white. So I've trimmed most of the white off of them this time. And now I'm just fiddling, just poking and fluffing and deciding where I would like all my bits and pieces. All right, so I'm pretty happy with where that one is at. And I just decide, so when I've put those leaves in, I really like the leaves in the cluster, but I don't like that there's no other green in my page at all. So to fix that, I've just popped a little bit of green onto my finger, green paint, and I have just blended it through. And it's as simple as that. All right, so I decide that there's quite a bit of white, and I know I just cut the white off of the die cuts, but there's a bit of white in my heart, so I feel like I need to add some white back in to my background. So one of the ways I do this is just loading some white paint onto the very tip of the new artist sponges, and I love how that gives like a stripy line down my page. I also used a stencil. This one was from, I can't remember what the pack is called, but it has a stencil in there with sort of lots of little mark makings on it. So I've used that to add some white circles coming off of the heart, and I did that on the top left and bottom right hand side. They're actually called Artsy designs. And then I just add some flicks of paint. So got my new splatter fan brush from Marlene out and just splattered some white around. So I really like the white. I love it, little bits of it sitting on that deep blue. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so now I think, yep, I'm going to stick them all down, and I stick my girl on the left-hand side. So you'll notice that with the heart, I've popped those little flowers and stuff all in a cluster on the right hand side, and then she's going to sit off center on the left hand side. And then I grab the sticky quotes and I find this quote and I think, oh, that's perfect. It says, "She is beauty and she is grace and she will punch you in the face." And I really liked how that would look. So I love that you get the quotes in the 3 colorways, so the black background, the white background and the pink background. So I chose black for this one. And then I'm just simply adding a few highlights and outlining some of the details with some pen, just to give a little bit of shadow work, just to help her stand out, and just to give a little bit of definition to a few of those flowers. So I'll fiddle around with this bit. And then I just use the black pen to outline some of the white mark makings. So I don't do the stripes, I just do the little circles that I added in that came from that stencil. And I'm just outlining them with some pen work. And then the last little step is I'm just covering some of that stencil work. I want the stencil work to be peeking out, to be of interest in the background. So I'm actually just adding a little bit of colour, some Ballet and some Mermaid, with my finger again, and it just allows it to sit just on top. It doesn't overpower it all because it's quite a thin layer. So I often use my finger to sort of smudge, and without a brush can often be a bit thick. So great for if you want backgrounds, but yeah. So I will leave you with close-ups. I really love the colours in this. I love the little pops of pinks and purples and tiny bits of reds showing through. It's really nice, and this is more natural. We're taken in natural light, daylight rather than nighttime. So thanks for sticking with me, and I will see you again soon. And as always, I love hearing from you, so let me know if you were here. Bye.